Assalamu alaikum. How are you, students? Hope you all are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am also fine. So, dear students of Standard 12, welcome back to my physics class. Dear students, today I am going to explain some topics from chapter 4 of your physics second paper book, that is torque on a current carrying loop and Earth's magnetism. So, let's start the class. We know that if a wire carrying current is placed in a magnetic field or a magnetic field is applied on a wire carrying current, then a magnetic force acts on it. And we can also calculate that force. From the previous content, I know you have learned it, that the magnetic force on a current carrying conductor is F equal to IL cross B. Here I is the amount of current that is flowing through the conductor, L is the length of the conductor, and it is also called as displacement vector, and B is the magnetic field. So you know current carrying wire experiences force when it is placed in a magnetic field. But today we will learn one thing. If a current carrying coil is placed in the magnetic field, then what would happen? Okay, so let's try to explain it. We will calculate today torque on a small coil in a magnetic field. A uniform magnetic field exerts here, and that is parallel to the coil, current carrying coil. Then a uniform magnetic field exerts no net force on a current loop, but it does exert a net torque. Okay, why there is no net force? Because you will see that at these two arms, that means at the left arm and right arm, the force will be created, but in the opposite direction, so they will cancel each other, and at this arm and this arm there will be no force as they are placed parallel to the magnetic field. So the net force will be 0, but the force which is created at the left arm and right arm and in the opposite direction, for those two forces a net torque will be created, and here we have to calculate that net torque. So let's say the magnetic field is in the plane of the loop and is parallel to two sides. If the loop has a width A, look here, the loop has a width A and a height B, and the current I is flowing through the loop in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so look at the left arm, on the left arm and on the right arm, we will see that force will be experienced at these two arms. But look here and here, no force will be experienced, because look, this arm is parallel to the magnetic field, and this arm is also parallel to the magnetic field. Here the current is flowing, the direction of current flow and the direction of magnetic field is in the same direction, so the angle between the current flow and magnetic field is what? 0 degree. But here look, current is flowing in this direction and magnetic field in the opposite direction, so here the angle is 180 degree. And you know from this formula you got F equal to IL cross B, that means ILB sin theta. So if theta is 90 degree, then it has value sin 90 degree equal to 1, but if theta equal to 0 degree or 180 degree, then that will be 0. For that reason, at this arm and on this arm there will be no force experienced, but at the left arm and on the right arm we will see force can be exerted. So let's calculate that force. Then the force on each of the left and right side is F equal to IL cross B. I have told already. IL cross B according to this formula. It is in the vector form, so it can be written as ILB sin theta. But here I is the amount of current. Look here, B, that is the height of the loop. Okay, that is what B, small b, and B, capital B, is the magnetic field intensity, and here theta is 90 degree. So IBB sin 90 degree. So that can be written as simply IBB, because sin 90 degree equal to 1. So it will be IBB. So in the left arm and in the right arm, the amount of force is equal, and that is what? That is IBB. And by using Fleming's right hand rule, we can also determine the direction of the force. If we follow the Fleming's right hand rule here, then at this point the direction of magnetic field is outward, that means outside of the laptop screen, and at this point the direction of magnetic field is inward, that means that is inside the laptop screen. Or if you draw it in your copy at the time, it will be outside, so we can represent that as dot, because you know when something is directed outside, we represent that by using dot, and when something is inside, then we represent it by using cross sign. So by placing here dot and cross, we can also determine the direction of force. So this is the frontal part of the figure. So if we see the image of this figure from the top view, then we get this. That means the force will be created in the opposite direction, in this direction, and another one in this direction. So here no net force will be created on the loop, but a net torque will be created, as the lines of force, lines of action of the forces are not in the same straight line, rather in different line. So here we will get a net torque. Okay, so here you can see that their line of action not being in the same straight line, the loop will experience a net torque or torsional force. Consequently, the loop will turn or rotate with respect to the rod or axis. Look, here it is a rod, or you can tell as axis. So with respect to this rod, the loop will rotate or turn. So now we will calculate that torque in the next slide. So the two forces are in opposite directions, so there's no net force, but there is a torque that tends to make the loop rotate about an axis running through the center of the loop. Look here, at this arm force equal to 0. At this arm force is also equal to 0. Why 0? Because here the direction of current flow and the magnetic field intensity is at 0 degree, and here it is 180 degree. So for this reason, at this two arm the force will be 0, but here we can get one force which is in the outward direction, and here we get one force that is in the inward direction. Okay, and their lines of action, line of action not being in the same straight line, so that's why the loop will experience the net torque and the loop will rotate around this axis. Now calculate that torque. The torque from physics first paper, you have idea about torque and how to calculate torque, you know it. Look, torque is represented by this symbol that is known as tau. Tau equal to force into perpendicular distance between the force acting. Okay, look, this is the perpendicular distance between the force acting. So torque equal to F into A. Here the perpendicular distance is the width of the loop, that is A. So we can write torque equal to F into A. But from the previous discussion, we got F equal to what? F equal to IBB. Okay, because I have shown you that time IB cross B, that means IBB sine theta, and sine theta here sine 90 degree, sine 90 degree equal to 1. That's why force equal to IBB into A. But these B and A, that means the height and width, or the length and width, if we multiply these two, then we get what? Area. And you know, area is a vector whose direction is perpendicular to this plane, the plane of the coil. So we can write it as IAB. Okay. If the coil is wrapped with n number of turns, then the net torque is what? Then you just multiply n with this term, and then the torque becomes torque equal to NIAB. Look, due to the torque, the coil rotates. This is the DC motor. If a magnetic, look here, the magnetic field is applied on the current carrying coil, and as a result torque is produced, and that's why the coil is rotating in the magnetic field around the axis. So how to calculate, how can we calculate torque? We have learned it, but one situation can occur when if the coil is made, if the plane of the coil makes an angle theta with the magnetic field, then what would happen? Look here, this is magnetic field, direction of the magnetic field, but the coil is placed in such a way that the angle between the coil and the magnetic field is theta. Then how can we calculate the torque? So let's explain that. Here, let theta be the angle between the plane of the loop and the direction of the magnetic field. The axis of the coil is perpendicular to the magnetic field. So here PQRS is a current carrying coil which is at an angle theta with the magnetic field. In the previous case, you have seen that at this arm and at this arm you didn't get any force, but here as there is angle theta, so we will get some force at this point and at this point. Okay, so the force, I have to tell one thing here. In this case, I have taken the width of the coil is B and the height or the length of the coil is L, small l. So the force at the arm PS equal to what, or SP equal to what? FSP equal to I B cross B, because you know force equal to IL cross B. Previously I have shown you. So here the width is B, so it will be IB cross capital B, that is magnetic field intensity, and its magnitude will be FSP equal to IBB sine theta. The value of sine theta we don't know, so we don't put here the value of theta, rather we kept it as theta. And the force that is acting on this line or on this arm, that is FQR equal to IB cross B. So that is in magnitude IBB sine theta. So you are seeing these two forces are in equal magnitude, are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Look, one force will be acted in the upward direction and another will be acted in the downward direction. So what will happen? They will cancel out each other, and these two forces are acting in the same straight line. That means the line of action in the same straight line. Moreover, they act along the same line of action and hence do not produce any torque. That means for these two forces there will be no torque. Now here this arm, that means PQ and RS, are at right angle with the magnetic field intensity. So the force at PQM will be FPQ equal to IL cross B, because here I have taken the length or the height of the coil as small l. So it can be written as IL cross B, and its magnitude is FPQ equal to ILB sine 90 degree. I have told you why it is 90 degree. And 90 degree equal to what? Sine 90 degree equal to 1. So it can be written as ILB. Similarly, at the arm RS, we can get the force FRS equal to also same ILB sine 90 degree, that is equal to ILB. Okay, look, but here we can find out the direction of magnetic field, direction of the force. Here the direction of the force is outward, that means outside of the laptop screen, and here the direction of force is inward, that is inside of the laptop screen. So here look, FPQ and FRS being equal in magnitude but opposite in direction cancel out each other and do not produce any translational motion, but they act along different lines of action and hence produce torque about the axis of the coil. So look, this is the frontal portion of the figure. So if we consider to observe this figure from the top view, so then the figure would be like this. This is the top view of the figure. Look here, one force is upward direction and other one in the downward direction, and this is the width of the loop. So you know, we can calculate torque by multiplying force into perpendicular distance between the forces acting. But here we cannot take this distance as the perpendicular distance. Rather, the perpendicular distance will be B sine theta. Okay. So the torque about this axis is torque equal to what? You know, force into perpendicular distance between the force acting. So here perpendicular distance is what? B sine theta. Okay. So force into B sine theta, but force equal to ILB. Previously I have shown you the magnitude of the force equal to ILB into B sine theta, but you know, L into B is what? Area of the current carrying loop. So we can write IA cross B. Okay. So here A is the area vector and B is the magnetic field intensity. Therefore, we can define the magnetic moment of the current loop as M equal to IA. Here M is the magnetic moment. So magnetic moment, the product of the current of a current carrying coil and the area of the coil is called magnetic moment of that coil. So we can write M equal to IA. Dear students, you must memorize all the definition because it can come as your 1 mark, that means knowledge based question, and for MCQ also you will require this type of definition. Here A is the area vector, the angle between M and B is theta. So then equation 1 can be written as expressed by one expression, that is tau equal to M cross B, because I equal to what? M, that is magnetic moment. Magnetic moment is what? Magnetic moment is the product of the current that is flowing through the coil and the area vector. So tau equal to magnetic moment into magnetic field intensity. Okay, so this is all about torque on a current carrying coil. I think you understood. Dear students, you know the earth is a huge magnet, isn't it? From your junior class, you have learned it. The earth is a huge magnet. The branch of physics which deals with magnetism of the earth and related different phenomena is called terrestrial magnetism. So now I will explain terrestrial magnetism or Earth's magnetism. You know, the Earth is a huge magnet. Why? Because the inner portion of the Earth there is melted iron or ironous substance, iron, nickel, cobalt. That's why Earth is a huge magnet, and the terrestrial magnet or the Earth's hidden magnet is placed in this way. The south of the terrestrial magnet is towards the north pole, is towards the west of the north pole, and its north pole is towards the east of the south pole. It is tilted. Okay, the hidden magnet is tilted, so it is tilted in this way. It is its south pole is towards the north pole, and its north pole is towards the south pole. And you know, when any bar magnet is suspended, it always shows north and south direction. How can it possible? Because if you suspended any bar magnet, then the bar magnet's north pole will be attracted by the south pole of the Earth's hidden magnet, and the bar magnet's south pole will be attracted by the north pole of the Earth's hidden magnet. But Earth's hidden magnet's south pole is towards the geographic north pole, and Earth's hidden magnet north pole is towards the geographic south pole. That's why a bar magnet always shows the direction of north and south. So look, this is geographic north pole and this is geographic south pole. Geographic south. Now, some terms relating to terrestrial magnet, I will explain those. Geomagnetic pole. Earth is a magnet. It has two poles. These are called geomagnetic pole. So look, this is the Earth's geomagnet. So it has two poles, south pole and north pole. The two places of the Earth where if a magnetic needle is suspended to the center of gravity, its magnetic axis remains in vertical position. The two poles of the Earth exist there. Terrestrial magnetic axis. The hypothetical line connecting the two magnetic poles is called terrestrial magnetic axis. Look, the hypothetical, that means an imaginary line that connects these two poles is called terrestrial magnetic axis. Magnetic meridian. The imaginary vertical plane passing through the magnetic axis of the geomagnet is called magnetic meridian. Look, this is geomagnet, and if we consider that a plane is vertically passed through it, suppose here if we cut it into two halves, then we will get one vertical plane. So that vertical plane is known as magnetic meridian. Geographical axis. The imaginary line connecting the two geographical poles is called geographical axis. Look, this is north pole and this is south pole, and connecting these two poles, the imaginary line is called geographical axis. Now, geographical meridian. The imaginary vertical plane that passing through the geographical axis is called geographical meridian. Look, through this geographical axis, if any plane is considered that is placed vertically, then that is passing vertically, then that plane is called geographical meridian. This is equator, which is perpendicular to the axis, geographical axis, and this is the magnetic axis. You know, I have told you. So here, terrestrial magnetic axis, and the line which is perpendicular to the terrestrial magnetic axis is known as magnetic equator. So this is geographic equator, and this line is magnetic equator. Do you understand? Dear students, so look, geographical north, geographical south, and the imaginary line that passes through this geographical north and south is known as geographical axis, and that is geomagnet or Earth's hidden magnet. Okay, and you know Earth's hidden magnet south is towards the North Pole and north is towards the South Pole, and that is what? Terrestrial magnetic axis. This line is terrestrial magnetic axis, and if any bar magnet is suspended, then magnetic north will be attracted by the south of the geomagnet, and magnetic south will be attracted by the north of the geomagnet. Okay. Look, this is geographic meridian. Look, if we consider a plane is passing vertically through this geographic axis is known as geographic meridian, and if a plane that passing through the through this magnetic axis, then that is known as magnetic meridian. So look here, we can see between geographic meridian and magnetic meridian there is an angle. Though the angle is very small, but we can see there is an angle, and that is known as declination. So now I will explain some elements of geomagnetism. Number 1, declination, that I have already shown you. Number 2, angle of dip or inclination. Horizontal intensity of the Earth's magnetic field. Declination. At first, I will explain declination. What is declination? Magnetic declination, sometimes called magnetic variation, is the angle between the magnetic meridian and geographic meridian. Declination is positive east of true north and negative when west. Look. So here declination is positive because declination is positive if it is east of the true north pole, then it is positive, and declination is negative if it is west of the true north pole, then the declination will be negative. And sometimes this type of significance can come in the exam, that the declination angle of Dhaka is half degree east. What does it mean? This statement means the axis of freely moving magnet makes an angle half degree with the geographic meridian from the magnetic meridian, and its north pole is in the east of the geographic axis. Dear student, this type of significance are given in your book. You must memorize, because as B number question that carries 2 marks, this can come into the exam. Now I will explain angle of dip or inclination. An wooden rod suspended by a torsion-free thread from the center of gravity always remains horizontal, isn't it? But a magnetic needle or a bar magnet, similarly suspended by a torsion-free thread, will not come to rest in a horizontal position, but will make some angle with the horizontal plane. Okay, this angle is called angle of dip or inclination. Look, here the needle magnet, or if we take any bar magnet, that always makes an angle with the horizontal, and that angle is known as angle of dip or inclination. So the definition of angle of dip or inclination is what? Angle of dip is also known as the magnetic dip and is defined as the angle that is made by the Earth's magnetic field lines with the horizontal. The angle of dip varies from point to point by providing the information related to the movement of the Earth's magnetic field. The angle of dip is said to be positive when the magnetic field points downwards. When the magnetic field points upward, the angle of dip is said to be negative. The angle of dip is 0 degree when the dip needles rest horizontally, while the angle of dip is 90 degree when the dip needles rest vertically. When the horizontal component and the vertical component of the Earth's magnetic field are equal, the angle of dip is equal to 45 degree. So angle of dip, we have already explained angle of dip or inclination. I have already told you the needle magnet or bar magnet is always at an angle theta with the horizontal. Okay. So the horizontal component is called the horizontal intensity, which is denoted by H of the geomagnetic field intensity, and the vertical component is called, this is vertical component, is called vertical intensity V of the geomagnetic field intensity. Dear students, today up to this, in the next class I will explain more elaborately about angle of dip. There are some mathematical calculation of angle of dip, and also I will explain hysteresis. Then this chapter will be finished and I will take a test of you. So till then, stay safe and strong. There is the moral for you. Today is another chance to get better. Goodbye everybody.